So, one of our other potential nominations for Client of the Week was another player who works with someone on the team. This is a very strong entry here. So, obviously, Smash has had a very nice experience living and sharing a living space with his players. Has yours been the same, Max?
Okay. I'm really enjoying living with Kellen and Bliss, to be honest. I'm really enjoying living with Kellen and Bliss. I think they're wonderful blokes. They don't leave a mess around the house, but Blissy, I don't think he has any critical thinking skills in the real world. I'm going to be honest. I think it's like he's all in on Overwatch, you know? So he's just fully tapped out. Like from the second I walked in the door at this house, I was like, oh God, he's a client. Oh God, no. Like there's a huge bedroom in the house, and then there's a significantly smaller bedroom. And I was expecting to be sleeping in the significantly smaller bedroom because there's two big ones and a small one. But I was perplexed to find that the enormous bedroom was empty. And I'm like, hey, Blissy, why you don't use? And he says, oh, I using before, but light coming in window, and I leave. And it's like, what do you mean you leave? Like, close the blind. Like, there's a blind there. And he's like, remote don't work. He's showing me the remote doesn't work. And it's like, okay, sure. I'll sleep in here. And then I walk up to the blind and I click the little manual close button on the top right of the motor and I close the blind. And it's like, okay, sick. I've solved the light problem of light waking up in the morning. But even before Blissy was having this light problem, even before I'd gotten to the house, both Koreans were having the problem that they got here and the sun came up in the morning to my right. Let me show you. You see that? You see those windows with tape over them and paper? There was no tape and paper there before, but the Koreans unfortunately couldn't problem solve the idea of sticking something over the window. And it was a bit of a Lastro blind situation where they said they just couldn't play. You know, there's too much light on the screen, they just can't play. At least with this one, they didn't have the paper and the textile, you know, they didn't have the tape and the paper handy, right? So maybe it's reasonable that they needed to ask the organization's general manager to help them out here, right? Maybe that's reasonable because there is quite a lot of light that bleeds through. It's a very bright wall. Like you can see the sun in the back. Yeah. It's killing. It's a killer. So maybe this one was reasonable. But Blissy, he couldn't manage just pressing the close button on the electric blind that actually works. So he left the room, abandoned it, and went to somewhere much smaller. But that wasn't the end of his woes, because I walked into his bedroom in the evening, and he's just sitting there in the dark. Like, he's sitting there in the pitch dark, and I'm like, Blissy, turn on the light. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, light broken. And I'm like, have you told Tucci you want to get another light bulb? And he said, oh, light bulb is here. And he opens a cabinet and it's full of replacement light bulbs. And this light bulb is like it's just above head height. Like I can reach it real easy. Like Blissy, he could reach it too. And he's like, I just don't change. So I just opened the box of light bulbs and changed the bulb for him and it's fine. But he's been sitting in the dark for 3 weeks. Like he knows where the bulbs are. He just doesn't think I'm going to change the light bulb. He's found light bulbs. He just doesn't see enough of an issue. And then he's not even done yet being a client around light. He's saying to me, oh, every day I wake up 8 a.m., sun coming up and coming through blind, and I wake up. And it's like, well, then use some of the tape and the paper that Tucci bought you and tape some shit over the gaps, you know? So now I've had to go into his room and break up a cardboard box and tape it all over the gaps on the windows to block out more light because Blissy would rather get woken up every day at 8 in the morning than just block the light himself. Just do something to block the light. Like there's a million options here. There's a million options. Just block the windows, man. It's not that hard. And then that's not even the last client thing that he's done. Because well, we went out and had a little drink after beating Timeless and making the upper bracket final. And we went out for dinner and me and Kellen got pissed. So I went to bed early because I'd gotten pissed. But Blissy can't drink in America, so he's sober as a judge. And then I wake up at 7 in the morning, a little bit hungover, a little bit confused, and I check team chat, and there's this bloody message of Blissy just saying, what did he say? I'm a Thanos or something like that? Yeah, I'm a Thanos. Yeah. And he sent a bloody picture of glass everywhere. He has shattered his bloody monitor, his computer tempered glass, and it's everywhere. And he's given no explanation. He's just said, I'm a Thanos. And then I go downstairs to look and see, like, is this real? Is this what I think it is? And he hasn't even cleaned up the fucking glass. He's taken a picture of it and gone to bed. So there's just glass all over the kitchen floor. I'm walking around barefoot, half asleep, and the floor is just covered in shattered glass everywhere. And I go back to bed. And I'm like, there's just no fucking way. This guy's not real. I'm not cleaning up this guy's mess. Unfortunately, by the time I was up the second time, he had cleaned up the glass, and he insists that he didn't do anything, that he just tapped the tempered glass ever so slightly with the side of a DisplayPort cable, and it just exploded into a million pieces. And to be honest, I believe him, because there's just no way that he was doing anything else. There's no way. There are those little doohickeys that break car windows, like you can break the glass really easily with this special metal. I reckon DisplayPort cables are made out of that stuff, and they break this particular tempered glass, because there's just no way that Blissy conjured the physical strength. And all of this has happened in like less than a week. Like all of this in less than a week. So like,
to be
by
fair,
the
though,
numbers, go on.
he is a Thanos.
Yeah.
I feel like you didn't consider how Thanos he is. I love that. Just break it. Oh, I'm a Thanos. All right, I'm going to bed.
Doesn't clean it. Like leaves glass on the floor
action.
in a shared house.
Classic Thanos. I feel like Blissy with the light is like Krusty with the Mauga, Like it's really uncomfortable, but it's better to just suffer through it, Like don't do anything. Don't use our bands to cover up the light.
It'll buff out.
It'll be fine, There's always next stage.
You sure, Krusty? We got loads of tape and cardboard if you want to cover it. Nah, it's fine. I'll just.
It'll be fine.
We got some more light bulbs. No, I'll just sit in the dark. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Good old Blissy.
God bless him. Can't wait to find out what happens over, because that was 1 week. There's another week, so I can't wait to find out what happens next week.
What a fucking Korean gamer.
Yeah.